With all the Nickelodeon shows of the 2000s and 2010s out there, there are many memorable ones, but perhaps none more so than Big Time Rush, one of the only Nickelodeon shows that wasn't produced by Dan Schneider. This show was a huge success and is technically classified as a 2010 show, but the very first episode did air in November of 2009, so I guess it counts. Big Time Rush was a major success for many reasons. They had really good dialogue.
I know! I can't believe we're up for Emily in the new Chauncey Jackson film!
Joe Taylor starring in Chauncey Jackson and the Magic Gathering.
I've read every book in the series.
Yeah, and every actress in town wants this role.
Parodies, am I right? This was one of the episodes that stuck with me most as a kid. They really killed it on the soundtrack. And Kendall and Joe's goodbye, major spoilers, was pretty sad. But I'm going to be talking about the show as a whole. Basically, one of the things that made this show work was each individual character. In other shows like iCarly, Drake and Josh, and Victorious, we saw the characters going through their struggles, but they were rarely ever separated. One thing that makes this show unique is that each of the characters had their own situation to deal with, and it would cut back and forth from episode to episode between each character. It was funny, it was unique, but it was also pretty creative in regards to the fact that was one of the few shows to do so. Because iCarly and Victorious, while they did have a few moments like that in their show's run, most of the time the characters were always at each other's side. And that was one thing I always found refreshing about this show, was that they didn't always spend time. They spent most of their time together, but we did get to see what went on behind the scenes with each of the characters, which the writers and the crew responsible for this show really put effort into.
You go to New Zealand for 3 years and your relationship is Carlos!
I'll find out more after I talk to my agent. Goodbye, kiss.
The show also wasn't afraid to tackle relationships, pretty similar to Drake and Josh. And one of the main highlights of the show was Kendall and Joe's relationship, so the episode I'm watching is actually pretty appropriate timing. And you can clearly see that they put in clever catchphrases and running jokes, just like with iCarly and Victorious.
Halfway across the world. She might not be going! Okay, next up on the agenda, Carlos! You need to get rid of your helmet!
Awkward moments. And of course, this show actually didn't have a laugh track set with it, which is one thing I really like because it allowed you to laugh on your own, in a sense. Shows with laugh tracks such as iCarly and Victorious, I'm not saying I hate these shows, but the laugh tracks do get annoying, and this show was funny without the need for an audience in the background because you were your own audience, if that makes sense. Some may argue that the show propelled the band into their success. I don't know much about the band because I never listened to their music aside from the episodes. But I do remember when Big Time Rush was really popular and everybody was into their songs. And it shows, and it's moments like this in the show that are extremely memorable.
I love living here at the Palmwoods. And you live here too.
Well, I made a reservation for a big, fancy celebration dinner tonight, and we could still go and uncelebrate.
You can tell the creators and the writers of the script were really thinking, not like today's shows where there's basically no humor. Everyone tries too hard nowadays. Shows like Sam and Cat, Game Shakers, Young Dylan, they don't have the charm and charisma that this show has with scenes like this.
If offered a major motion picture.
You read her contract?
I read everybody's contract. Did you know that if your next album goes platinum, you all get alpacas?
Okay, everything aside, I'm not sure if it's actually legal to read someone's contract. This was one of the things that the show would portray with Katie's character. You didn't really think about it much as a kid, but when you watch it later on, you're like, oh, that's weird. The show had some pretty good cutaway scenes too. Each scene would smoothly transition to another one in the show, like this.
I have two theories. One, he projected his love of hockey into his helmet and then fell in love with his helmet. And two, he's an idiot. And jump.
Predictability. So basically, this show is a success because of its unique qualities, its relatability to characters and viewers, and the main reason was that it actually took the time to go into depth with each of the characters. Alright, that's it for this video. If you like this video, please comment, rate, and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. Thanks for watching. Onyx out.